It is game week for the Detroit Lions. They play Thursday. Oh my God, Kansas City Chiefs to open the NFL season. No more preseason. No more talking about the hype. The game is here, and we are all excited. We're definitely going to be talking about the Kansas City Lions game all week, but in this video, we'll do a little bit of that because there's a certain player from that football team that does impact our Detroit Lions that will likely not be playing, and it's a big player. We're going to talk also about the latest Lions news and rumors, and quite a bit of that going on in this video. Let's go. If you're a fan of my graphics on videos, well, you're going to be disappointed today. Why? Because I don't feel that great. And so I don't want to make graphics. So we're just going to straight up talk for this video and get to the point. Chat Sports, hey, I love ya, but the graphics aren't going to be here today. So let's get into the Isaiah Buggs situation. If you don't know, Isaiah Buggs posted on Twitter and he seemed very upset. Removed some Lions information on there. Speculation arose potentially of Isaiah Buggs being traded out of Detroit. When all this went down yesterday, everybody was talking about it. With that said, spoke to somebody who understands the situation, and no, he's not being traded from what we're hearing. He was upset because he went down in the depth chart, and that irritated him to where it frustrated him to make a Twitter post. Now, when it comes to Isaiah Buggs, I love Isaiah Buggs. I think he is a really good rotational piece to our beloved Detroit Lions, and we need to have him on the field. With that said, he's not the number one guy at all. I mean, he's not the guy who you're going to feature, and so for him to be upset, I understand it. You got to prove it on the field, and ultimately he'll have a chance to do that this year. But it's not a situation I think that's warranting him being removed from the locker room or anything like that. So let me know in the comments section. Are you okay with Isaiah Buggs being upset that he fell a little bit in the depth chart? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For me, again, I think it's a little petty, let's be honest here, but at the same time, he's probably a really big-time competitor. We re-signed him in free agency, so I understand it from a competitor standpoint. You want to be able to can show your talents and not be demoted a little bit. But if you look at Michael Brockers last year, who was completely demoted, not being dressed for games, and he took it like a champ. So at the same time, I think hopefully Isaiah Buggs, he gets through it, it's over with, and then you move forward towards Kansas City in the rest of the games here. But I don't know how he's going to take it because we all take things differently. But at the same time, I don't think he should get a lot of hate for it, and I don't think he should get too much flack for it. He's still a good piece for our Detroit Lions. So hopefully everything works out for him. Do I think he gets traded? I don't think he gets traded at all. It doesn't make any sense to me to trade Isaiah Buggs. If it's just a depth issue, if it's a little bit more, maybe who told me this is wrong. But at the same time, that's what I'm being told right now. So we'll see going forward. I don't want to lose Isaiah Buggs. I like him. Hopefully everything works out. On the flip side, Chris Jones, the defensive tackle from the Kansas City Chiefs, is likely to not be playing on Thursday because he's still holding out for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's an extreme impact for the Lions and Kansas City Chiefs as a whole. Before we get into that impact, there's been rumors flying around. Should the Detroit Lions trade for Chris Jones? Isaiah Buggs, could he be part of a trade deal? I have heard zero legitimate information regarding trade and Chris Jones. So there is rumors out there, but I'm going to give you my personal belief that I think it's untrue, and I do not believe the Detroit Lions make a trade for Chris Jones. Even if you were to take Isaiah Buggs, you're still going to have to give up quite a bit of draft capital to acquire Jones. And that's something that Brad Holmes, our general manager, has yet to do a significant amount of draft capital. We're talking about first-round picks. So, and especially considering the fact, would you trade a player away to a team who you face in a couple days. Now, maybe some teams would do that. I think that is strategically not smart. And it would be a situation where Kansas City Chiefs would be hurting themselves. And you would have to give this man a giant contract extension. We're talking about Aaron Donald level money. And he's a young player, and he's dominant. So if you're to give a giant contract extension to a Chris Jones, it is going to affect Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, and amon-ra St. Brown. Because this is not a longer in the tooth veteran. This is a guy who's at the prime of his career, who's one of the best defensive players in football, and he wants and is demanding a giant contract. He's held out. He's very much wants it. And I think that's a situation not for the Detroit Lions. I don't think they want to pay that capital, and I don't think they would want to pay that type of money, but it's going to strap them for players whom we did draft, like St. Brown, who we did draft in Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson. You want to keep the players whom you drafted. So I think there's really no legitimate truth to the Chris Jones trade rumors. But let me know in the comment section, would you trade for Chris Jones? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Chris Jones' impact of not playing is immense. Again, we're talking about he's one of the best defensive tackles in all of football. He's probably their best defensive player, and him not being on the field is going to affect the Lions' run game in a good way for us, bad for them. The offensive line, good for us. And Jared Goff able to stand in the pocket a little bit more because he can rush the passer. This is going to give an ample opportunity for the Lions to be more effective on offense, in which you need to be, versus Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is a situation where if he is likely not to be playing, this should push the Lions up to win this game. This is a player whom impacts the game significantly. And when you don't have your impact player, it hurts your team. I think it's great news for the Lions. Now, again, things could change. Maybe he gets a contract in the next couple days and plays. With that said, it seems extremely unlikely. And I hope that he does not play on Thursday. And I hope that the Lions do not have to face the defensive tackle. And it's great news, just absolutely great news. I understand people want to play against the best players on opposing teams. I understand that philosophy, but I also want to win a football game, and I want the best chance to win. And Chris Jones not being on the field gives the Lions a better chance to win a football game. So huge there. That's great news. Legitimate trade rumors. Now, I've talked about this on my channel. I've talked about this on Facebook. I made a Facebook post, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I said the Lions could be making a big trade for a wide receiver. A lot of people gave grief and said, we didn't hear anything. We haven't heard anything from Dave Burkett or anything like that. And I maintained that somebody inside the organization told me that, and it's true. And same with Dan from Lions Talk Live. It's a legitimate trade rumor, and the rumors is legitimate here. And the Lions have talked to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by acquiring Mike Evans. The problem right now is not necessarily the trade compensation. The trade compensation we're hearing, well, you know what, was speculative right now. Well, not really speculative, but was a third-round pick and maybe another draft pick for Mike Evans. That's not the problem. Mike Evans wants a contract extension. And the Lions, if they were to trade for them, would have to extend Mike Evans to give him the money. And Brad Holmes here is not someone that gives long-term deals quite a bit. 2-year deals is generally what they like. And that's what we're hearing with Mike Evans, is to be more of like a 2-year deal to situation, but he wants probably a 4-year deal. Do the Lions trade for Mike Evans? I don't know. I think this is 50-50 at this point. It could go either way. Does it happen now? Does it, within a day or two? Does it happen before the trade deadline? I think it's a real possibility it happens before the trade deadline, that Mike Evans gets traded. And I absolutely believe the Lions are interested. Does it happen the next couple days? I don't know about that. It's hard to see that happening considering you got a game on Thursday. But when it comes to these trades and when it comes to these situations, you just don't know. You never know. We've seen it in the NFL where trades are about to go down, they get nixed. Out of nowhere, there's no trade rumors, and then it happens. Not Halapuli Vati. What was I thinking? I was talking about Haloti Nata. Out of nowhere, we trade for the guy. Or Snacks Harrison out of the blue. So we'll see. This is an interesting development and rumor that is occurring. And it can change the trajectory of the Detroit Lions because everybody says the Lions' weapons on offense, specifically wide receiver, is a lack of playmakers or a lack of depth. You bring in Mike Evans with amon-ra St. Brown. You got Khalif Raymond. You got J-Mo comes back week 7. That is a scary wide receiver room, and the offense is just intense. You're talking about a team that should be considered at that point to be an NFC contender, to make it to a Super Bowl if you add a player of his caliber, because yes, he's 30 years old, but he gets 1,000 yards every year, over 1,000 yards of receptions. He is a big body. He does get touchdowns. He's contested catches. He gets separation. He's a good wide receiver, a really good one. And you pair him up with the weapons that we have, he's just going to get even more big plays for the Lions. So this one is going to be a daily occurrence with this rumor because it's a daily development process, how this goes. And so if you want to get really quick information, you can find on Facebook or Twitter, Mike Kimber, on there. You can also go to Lions Talk Live with Dan Thornton. He's doing a really good job on this process. He's doing daily updates. So you can check them, Twitter as well. So this is one that we're monitoring every day. It is a day-by-day process. And we'll go from there. And anything that new pops up, you will be informed. So make sure you hit that notification bell, all that lovely stuff. We're going to be live Thursday for the Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on this live stream, live watch party, play-by-play. It's going to be epic. With that said, folks, adios.